Hello everyone and welcome back to This Is Real Life. I'm your host Sheri, and yes, we are still in the sunroom. We are going to try to get this makeover finished up, hopefully within the next couple of weeks. So if you watched last Wednesday's video, you'll know that I jackhammered out the steps as well as removed the door and put up the sheetrock. So now what I want to do is I want to get all the beadboard cut. I only have this little section of wall to do. It'll probably take like maybe 4, maybe 3.5 beadboards. So I want to spend a lot of time in the garage making a bunch of cuts, get all my cuts prepared, bring in the beadboard, put it up, and then paint it, and then we can tackle this tiling job next. So it's time to get to work, and it's time to take some measurements and get out in the garage. Okay, as you can see, I got all the beadboard up, clear caulked all the seams, so now it's ready for paint. But I don't wanna lie to you guys because it's not what I do, it's not my MO. I probably did the intro to this video and put this beadboard up, I'm gonna go with like 3 weekends ago. Then I left it because there were other fun things that I wanted to do, and this wasn't one of those fun things. And also too, if I finish this, then that means I have to figure out the tile situation, which I've not been looking forward to. So I postponed this whole sunroom for 2 reasons. I wanted to do more fun projects like, you know, put a movies in the park in my backyard, and I've been dreading that. I can't put it off any longer. The sunroom's been in disarray for a month now, probably over a month. So it's time to get it finished. Today, I am focusing solely on painting all of this. Once I get 2 coats on this, while this is drying, I'm gonna take the measurements of all the trim that I need, and then I will run over to the Lowe's or the Home Depot, purchase all the trim that I need, get that up, get that painted. All the walls will be done, and then I can focus all of my energy on figuring out what to do with that tile situation. I know I'm gonna have to mix cement. I know I'm gonna have to pour a cement slab. I know it's probably gonna have to cure for however many days, and then I can finally tile. Good news is, which is what I'm like banking on hope-wise, which is what's keeping me going, is maybe at most I need to do 8 tiles. I do have a tile cutter. It's all straight line cuts. Hopefully that will be easy and we can knock it out. Then I gotta figure out the grout, because this grout has been in this sunroom since I don't know how long. Is it gray? Is it brown? I don't know what color it is. I'm gonna have to figure out how to match that. Whatever, one step at a time. Step 1, paint. Let's get to it. Okay, yay. It's painted. It took me a little bit longer than I thought it would. I always go into painting and I'm like, yeah, you can knock this out in an hour. Meanwhile, 4 hours later, I'm done. So I have already taken my measurements for my quarter rounds that I need, the trim in the opening where the step down is. They're on my handy dandy notepad. And now, while this is like finishing up drying, I'm gonna go to the wood store and get all the wood I need. Yay. And I have just enough green paint left to paint all my quarter rounds and trim pieces. The stuff that I'm gonna get to frame out the opening for the step down, I'm gonna have that be white so it matches this in here that is white. But everything else I'm gonna paint the green color. And then, you know what's next. So I'm off to the store. Okay, so I went to the wood store and I bought all of the trim. I still haven't figured out what I'm going to do for the floor area on either side of the step down over there. I don't know how I'm gonna match the original wood flooring. That's a problem for later. So I brought all my trim pieces home. I painted them out in the garage. They are dry. And now there's nothing left for me to do except put the trim up and then deal with that floor. I should have been dealing with the floor yesterday, but I don't want to. I'm really procrastinating on doing that. I know I need to pour cement. I did buy rebar to put in the cement. I should have done it yesterday and I didn't. Instead, I rototillered the entire backyard. So yeah, it's like, get on with it, lady. Get this sunroom done. So I I'm going to put off the cement for a little bit longer and I'm gonna work on the trim. So I'm thinking first off, I need to remove all of the nails from the crown molding that I took out, then re-put the crown molding back up so that I could get accurate measurements for all of my quarter rounds and my corner trim. And then I will measure out all of the stuff for the opening, which they didn't have what I wanted there, and I don't know if I'm gonna like what I actually purchased for that. So we'll see. I don't know. That could be a trial and error situation. What I really should do is do the cement first because it's gonna need time to cure, like a couple of days. But I don't wanna do it first. Well, and two, I need to go out in the garage because I've had bags of cement in my garage since my old house. I moved bags of cement to this house.
Yeah, pick it up again, you move it again, lots of reps.
So I hope that they stay dry because any little bit of moisture, whole bag of cement is ruined. I'm not gonna do the cement right now. I've made cement stepping stones, like big ones for a friend of mine in their front yard. So I'm like okay with cement, but this is another story. I'm gonna have to figure this out as I go, and I'm probably not gonna do it exactly right or to code or whatever. So yeah, enough talking. Let's get the trim done because I know that's gonna be the easiest out of the last two projects I have. So I'm gonna remove all the nails, put up the crown molding, measure and trim my trim, install that, and then finally we'll start mixing cement and figure out what we need to do over there. Okay, nails have been removed, crown molding has been wiped down, my porter cable is charged, and I'm ready to just go with the crown molding. So let's get to it. Okay, so I'm running into a major issue that I kind of feel like I knew I was gonna run into, but then I just forgot about it because my beadboard goes up to the ceiling, which was never there before. Now my crown molding doesn't line up. Over there, it was a shit show. I just took it down. And right here, it pops out, like it's away from the wall. So when I try to butt it up with that crown molding right there, it's like away as thick as the beadboard is. I can't take the beadboard down. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that crown molding right there down. I have extra beadboard that I'll just cut and I'll just put up there so it's the same thickness across all the way. I'll have to trim a little bit off of that corner and probably this corner on my crown molding. It's gonna set me behind a little bit, but I mean, it's postponing me having to do the cement, so okay, that's what I'm gonna do. Yay. Okay, I've got all the crown molding up. Up close, it looks like it needs to be on an episode of Botched. I'm definitely gonna need to do some plastic surgery. Now I'm gonna need to caulk under here, paint all of that, fill in all the holes, fix that. But if you don't look at it too closely and you just look at it from a distance, it looks kind of okay. So now, all the trim pieces. Yay. Okay, now that disaster area is over, I'll go in and do all the cosmetic surgery when my cement is curing. But right now, I am going to put up my trim pieces. So I have a corner trim, and then I have 2 half rounds in each of those corners. Then I gotta do this. So, yeah, I'm already over it, guys. I'm over it, and I barely started. Let's get rejuvenated. We're excited. We're finishing this sunroom. I need to measure, cut, put in. Easy. It's gonna be easy. That's what I said about the crown molding, remember? Okay, now that I have my corner and my quarter rounds all in place, all the trim is up. It looks really good. Now, let's start on what we're gonna do for that opening. I know, I still have cement, but let's do that opening first. Okay, the trim is up. I'm sitting in the sandbox. So I don't know how deep this sand goes down. I was just hoping there'd be like a cement pad under here and then I could just lay tile on it, but that is not the case. So I'm gonna have to dig out at least 2 inches, probably 3 inches, depending on if this goes to China or not. So I have a bucket. I'm got a shovel. I never thought that I would have to dig sand from inside of my house and take it outside. Then when I get this all cleared out, then I'm gonna have to mix some cement. So everybody, keep your fingers crossed like this entire time. Okay, well here's some good news, I guess. I see this is the cement slab here and it's only that thick. So I'm gonna dig out all the sand just to the bottom of this, and that's all the cement I'm going to pour because it'll match. So that's what I'm gonna do. I wish I could say I just found national treasure under my house, but I didn't. You wanna see what I found under my house? It's a root, that is a root. It's a thin root, but it's a root nonetheless. Look, that can't be good. First I thought it was a wire, but no, it's a root. Okay, now I know why I've been dreading this and putting it off for week after week after week after week. I have 3 buckets full of sand that I have cleared out, and now that I'm re-looking at the tile, I have to break more tile. That's not a full square. That's some weird L-shaped tile. This is like a little sliver. That's a little sliver. Here's another L-shaped one. And that's not a full square. Oh, I'm probably gonna have to break that too, and probably that one over there too. But look, my hole's dug. One step closer. Actually, it's one step closer to the edge. And I'm about to break! That's how I feel right now. So, I've got all the tile busted out, which on the plus side, I guess, if we wanna be half full about it, this does give me a nice edge to level this with.
We appreciate your optimism, Peter.
Now, full disclaimer. This portion of the video is not a how-to. This is a how I'm going to do it. It is not going to be exactly proper. If I wanted to be proper about it, I would drill into my concrete slab that I have here. I would drill in, 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 and then I would feed my rebar into those drill holes and epoxy them in. I'm not doing that. A, this is not a high traffic area. B, it's up against a wall. C, I'm probably gonna have a piece of furniture here. No one's gonna walk here. I don't really care. I'm not going to take the time to drill. I did buy rebar. I will put the rebar in, but technically this new cement will not be connected to the current cement slab. I know it's not right, and I already gave you the disclaimer. This is not a how-to. This is how I'm gonna do it. So, knowing that I'm not drilling in, I'm just gonna lay rebar. What I'm going to do is I'm gonna do the dry concrete method, where you pour in dry concrete. Then I'm gonna lay my rebar in. I bought 2 4-foot long rebars and 2 2-foot long rebars. So I'm gonna make a little grid on top of a layer of dry concrete. Then I'm gonna do another layer of dry concrete on top of that, and then I'm gonna bring my hose in through the sliding glass door and hose in, or I might also pitchers of water, wet the concrete that way and let it cure. I am not going to pre-mix the concrete in a bucket and then dump it in here. Some of you might have issues with the way that I am doing this, and that's okay. You can have your issues. When you're pouring your cement to tile over the top, feel free to drill in, lay the rebar out, tie it together, mix and pour. You do it how you would like to do it. I'm gonna do it how I would like to do it. And my way is the shortcut easy way. Not the correct way, but it's a way that'll work for me for what I need. Okay, so I laid my first layer of concrete down, and now I'm just gonna take my rebar and kind of, please tell me, no! Can I do it at an angle? Yeah, I'm doing it at an angle. It's a little less than 4 feet, so I'm gonna go like this and like shimmy this down in here a little bit. Like a so, like a so. Again, not a how-to, this is a how I'm. And then I'll put one right here. We'll just make a little grid, little happy grid. It probably should be a little bit deeper than this, but yeah. Now that I have that, I'm gonna do another layer. We wanna smooth everything out dry, get it perfectly level dry. I'm gonna mist it, let it soak in, you know, maybe it's 30 minutes to an hour, then mist it again, let that soak in, then spray it really good, and then it has to cure. So easy. Okay, I've got my cement leveled to what my concrete slab was. I manned myself to avoid dragging in the hose since it's just a light misting, because you're trying not to mar the top of your level, so you don't want to like go in hard with big water droplets. So I filled 4 bottles with water, and I'm just gonna lightly mist. I could actually use 2 hands. So we're just lightly mist. They say that you'll see when it's like curing, and then you come in with another light mist after an hour or so. Hopefully this works. I mean, also too, I don't really care what the surface of this looks like because I'm covering it in tile. So as long as it's a pretty okay level for me to lay tile on top of, I'm fine. I'm fine with it. So I'm just gonna keep shooting it with water, probably wait about an hour, shoot it with some more water, and then I think after that, I'm supposed to like really water it in. We'll figure that part out after a couple of hours. Okay, it has been a couple of days since I poured the cement, and it is solid as a rock. I am very excited. Now, because this is the only reasoning I can think of, I used the bags of cement that have been sitting in my garage for a million years, and when I dumped it, like it needed to be sifted like flour, but I didn't sift it like flour. I just tried to smash out the lumps and clumps, which I didn't do a very good job, and it did leave like a couple of loose little gravelly rocks. I just swept those up. Even though it looks like there's loose gravelly rocks on here, there's probably a few left. It's not. It's solid. Now we're gonna try to lay some tile, which we've done before. The kitchen was a huge job. I did that. It should only be like 8 tiles and then a baseboard, which I was able to save a few pieces from when I demolished this. So I'm hoping that these that I saved will fit right here. I do have a tile cutter. I'm not very adept at it, but I do have practice tiles here. So I'm hoping I will have enough to do all of this. If not, I don't know. This might be a cut piece. I don't know. Yeah, this isn't a full square that goes here. Oh, it doesn't match up exactly. That's what I was worried about. Okay, so that's awesome. None of the tiles that I saved are the right size, and I am gonna have to cut all new tiles. Yay! So I'm gonna go to the garage, pull the tiles. I'm also hoping that I have I know it's not called grout, and I can never remember, that you stick the tiles down with. I hope I have some of that. If not, I'm gonna have to go to the store. And it's like 101 degrees outside right now, and I didn't wanna have to leave the house. I don't even wanna go into my garage. That's how hot it is. But we all have to do what we have to do. So let me go get everything. I'm gonna get my tile cutter. I'm gonna see what exactly my supplies look like, run to the store if need be, then we'll get to tiling. Okay, well, this is awesome. So I went out to my garage. What I thought were full tiles were half tiles, not even half tiles. So I have 6 full tiles. Then I have what I removed. I should be able to make out the 4 cuts that I need there and the baseboard with the tile that I have, but that might leave me with 0 tile for the stair entry thing. So I'll deal with that when we get there. I did have a almost full container of the mortar, which is what goes underneath. Can someone please tell me why, when you have something in a very nice airtight container, it's still as hard as a rock? So this was a waste of, I don't know, what does this run, 25 bucks? Because I'm gonna have to go get more. Yay, which means I need to leave the house. Double yay. I mean, on the plus side, once I have the mortar, these are huge. That's 4 huge uncut tiles that I could just quickly butter and lay, make sure they're all level. Thankfully, I have the tile that I'm sitting on now as a grid to line everything up. And then, yeah, I just need to do that. And it's gonna look so cute and it's gonna be done, but it's like, why now at the finish line of everything am I running into more problems after more problems? Like first it was like, oh, can't put the crown molding up because of XYZ. Oh, can't do this because of XYZ. Oh, now that I've done this, I have to take this apart. And now that I'm ready to start the tile, my mortar is all dried up and I may not have enough tiles. It's like Jiminy Christmas, one thing after the other. I feel like I've been in the home stretch for like the last 3 days now. Maybe, hopefully, this will actually be the home stretch. Okay, so I've gotten my first 4 full tiles laid. They're as even as they could possibly be. I might have to do some like nice finesse work with the grout. I did already cut 2, but I had to rig my tile cutter in order to do it because this tile cutter, it only cuts max of 14-inch tile, and I think these are 16 inches. So I basically had to take it apart, take off the stops, take off everything to fit my tile in here. And then I have to creatively, because it doesn't cut the full 16 inches, I have to cut it a little bit, turn it around, line it back up perfectly, and then cut it again before I can break it. Now, I only have 2 more full-size tiles, and I have 2 more spots. So if I mess up my cut on these 2 tiles, then, I mean, I guess I'm gonna have to like mosaic tile something. I don't know. But everybody, like I've been saying throughout this video, keep your fingers crossed because I have 2 more full tiles. I have 2 more tiles to cut. And that's not even including the little baseboard tiles, but I think I have enough small pieces to do that just fine. I'm worried about bucking up these giant tiles because they're the only 2 I have left. So let's not think about it and let's just do it. I know they need to be 12 inches wide, so yeah, let's get to cutting on our rigged tile cutter. Well, I did it. I cut my remaining 2 tiles pretty perfectly. I am so excited because I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty nutted up about it and was really worried I was gonna break a tile, but I didn't. The rigged tile cutter totally worked for me. I am relishing my Tim Gunn moment. Now all I have to do is mortar these in place, then do our little baseboard, and then we let this sit overnight, and then I can grout it. Yay!